All right, let's dive right in. We're talking about a huge update from Google today, one that could seriously change the game for teachers. They've dropped over 150 new AI features. And honestly, a lot of this stuff is flying way under the radar for most folks in education. So let's break down what you actually need to know. So, let me ask you, does this sound familiar? You're spending hours, maybe even your whole weekend, creating lesson plans from scratch. Meanwhile, your students, they're getting really good at finding quick answers online, but maybe not so good at actually learning the material. And you're just drowning in a sea of emails, grading, and all that admin work that keeps you from doing what you got into this for in the first place, teaching. It's a real problem, right? You could almost call it a crisis in the modern classroom. The amount of administrative stuff is it's huge. And all of it just chips away at that precious time you could be spending connecting with your students. And that right there, that's the exact problem these new AI tools from Google are built to tackle. So what's the solution? Well, Google is rolling out this whole new suite of AI tools they're calling Gemini for Education. And look, this isn't just another flashy tech announcement. It's a real, fundamental shift aimed at giving teachers back their most valuable asset, their time. And we're not talking about a small pilot program here. This is happening at a massive scale. Like right now, Gemini for Education is already available in over 1,000 colleges in the US alone. That's reaching more than 10 million students, and believe me, that's just the beginning. Okay, so the big question is, does it actually work? Well, the early results are pretty staggering. For example, teachers in Northern Ireland are already reporting that they're saving up to 10 hours a week. I mean, think about that. That's an entire workday back in your schedule every single week. And check out this quote from an educator down in Mexico. It really hits home. They said, "I completed a task in 20 minutes that used to take my entire weekend." Let that sink in for a second. An entire weekend, crunched down to 20 minutes. Seriously, what would you even do with your weekends back? But this is about more than just saving teachers' time. As amazing as that is, it's also about completely transforming how students learn. It's about moving them away from just finding quick answers and getting them toward genuine, deep understanding. And a really core idea here is something they're calling guided learning. This is where the AI, it really shines. It's not just some standard chatbot that spits out the final answer. Nope. Instead, it acts like a personal tutor. It asks those guiding, probing questions that help a student actually reason through a problem all on their own. So here's how that actually works. A student gets stuck on, let's say, a tough physics problem. They ask the AI for help. Now, instead of just handing over the solution, the AI might ask something like, "Okay, what do you already know about this concept?" Or "What do you think the first step should be?" It's basically the Socratic method, but with an AI. And it's designed to build real comprehension, not just cheap memorization. Okay, so that's the student side. Now let's switch gears and talk about the tools that directly help you, the teacher. This is where the AI really becomes your new personal assistant, streamlining all those super time-consuming parts of your day. And the star of the show here, it's gotta be Notebook LM. The best way to think about it is this. You upload your stuff, your lecture notes, your readings, maybe some research papers, and it instantly becomes an expert on your specific material. Not the whole internet, just what's actually relevant to your class. It's a game changer. And it's so versatile. For a student, they can upload their class notes and poof, they get personalized flashcards and quizzes. But for a teacher, you can upload your curriculum and instantly generate lesson plans, really thoughtful discussion questions, even activities that are tailored to different learning levels in your classroom. And the kind of stuff it can create is just wow. It can turn your notes into a podcast-style audio overview, or it can whip up a short educational video from your sources. It can even create these really cool visual mind maps that show how all the key concepts connect. Oh, and the new data table feature? Total game changer for organizing messy info. Okay, let's talk about Google Classroom for a sec, because this is a big one. All of this AI integration, it's now free for everyone. Before, you needed a paid add-on to get this stuff, but now, over 30 AI-powered tools are baked right in at no extra cost. This means you're not starting from a blank page anymore. You're starting with a solid AI-generated first draft. Chromebooks are getting some love too, with some awesome new classroom management tools. Teachers can now instantly beam a web page to every single student's screen. You can lock all the devices into a focus mode when it's time to write, or open them all up into an explore mode for research. It just gives you way more control over the digital classroom. Now, of course, whenever you talk about new tech in education, two big questions always pop up. What's it going to cost, and is our data safe? And this is an area where Google is clearly being very, very deliberate. So let me be crystal clear on this. All of these incredible features come with what they call enterprise-grade data protection. And get this, they are available at no cost for all Google Workspace for Education editions. So yeah, free and secure. That's the headline. And they've got a whole trust checklist to back that up. So it's all compliant with the big US student privacy laws, FERPA and COPPA. But here's the really crucial part. Google guarantees that student data is never used to train their AI models, and it's never reviewed by humans. Plus, they've earned the Common Sense Media Privacy Seal, which is a huge deal. It's a major thumbs up from an independent group on their commitment to safety. Okay, so we've looked at all the individual tools. But how does this all actually work together, in a real classroom? Let's walk through a super practical example. Let's imagine you're a science teacher. First, you upload a textbook chapter on, say, photosynthesis into Notebook LM. Bam! In seconds, it generates a study guide, practice questions, and even one of those visual mind maps. Then, you can assign that interactive notebook directly inside Google Classroom. Now, your students can jump in, engage with the material, ask it questions, and get personalized help that is based only on the content you uploaded. It's pretty amazing. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. After seeing how these tools can pretty much automate a ton of lesson planning, grading, and content creation, what could you do with an extra 10 hours a week? Seriously, what passion projects could you finally get to? How could you connect with your students on a totally different level? The possibilities, they're really, really exciting.